public hearing and work session on HJM 26.
Mr. Chairman, HJM 26 encourages the United States Department of Veterans Affairs to establish a full Level 2 hospital in Roseburg, Oregon, and to ensure that the community health needs are met through Roseburg's VA Medical Center.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, I'm Bruce Hanna, State Representative, House District 7. I, too, have the pleasure of seeing the Veterans Facility. It is directly across the freeway from my own business. The beautiful thing about the Veterans Hospital is the services it provides to our veterans statewide, but specifically within the Southern Oregon region. My father is a World War II veteran. It is important to he and others who have been able to receive services over the years. We look at that facility proudly. Douglas County serves veterans, and we're proud of our veterans, and we're proud to provide that service for veterans around the state of Oregon. It is simply a way to say that those services need to be continued. We would like to see a full-service facility there for our veterans to provide that level of service, and I'm in here in support of that opportunity.
Thank you. Questions? Thank you very much. Bob.
My name is Bob Cotterill. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm also city councilor in the city of Roseburg. I come to you as all of that. Mr. Chair, the rest of the committee, I'm very pleased to have been here. It was a nice day for a drive, but this is an extremely important issue. Forgetting the veteran side of this, if we take all the veterans and move them into the private sector, Roseburg, as I'm sure you're familiar with most rural Oregon, is already straining at the seams in providing medical services to those people. We throw these patients in out there, it'll be horrible. Currently, and I have personal experience with this, a trip to the emergency room at the VA hospital is an hour, and then I'm back at home. A trip to the emergency room at Mercy is about 7 hours, and then I'm back home. And I don't think we're doing either our public or our veterans or any service by downsizing or outsourcing this. I would really appreciate some support from the state in this matter. It feels to me like we're turning the corner in Washington now. We're actually starting to get some attention, and I appreciate all your time in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim?
Mr. Chair, members, Jim Little of Roseburg, Oregon. I'm also president of the Douglas County Veterans Forum. The forum represents all the 20 veterans groups within Douglas County. We meet monthly to determine common goals. And one of our common goals for the last 20 months has been save our Roseburg VA hospital. And as Director Willis explained, the meeting that took place in March that directed a review committee took place the last part in June. Senator Wyden made a comment that has kind of become our battle cry also. He said, what I am hearing from veterans is VA healthcare is very good when you can get it. And it's been our attempt to take the when out of that statement. I walked around with Dr. Kaiser, who is the lead BAW consultant, and I'll never forget in a surgical area where a young nurse said to Dr. Kaiser, Dr. Kaiser, I cannot tell you how many times I have told a veteran lying in bed that he or she was going to have to be moved to an outside facility. And they have said, please, please, don't move me out of my VA. If I must die, let me die here. And while she said this, she had tears running down her cheeks. She said, please, Dr. Kaiser, don't separate us from our veterans. And that is how veterans feel. When we walk into the VA, we're home. They are our family. So our campaign is not only for veterans, but also for those wonderful people with hearts of gold that work there at the VA hospital. And to put a better face on what our efforts have been, I wanted to share with you just quickly 3 stories of veterans. One veteran last December, a World War II veteran, had to go to the store. It was raining and dark, and he could not drive his vehicle because he had cataracts. Well, he decided to walk. As he was walking across Harvard Boulevard, he was struck by a car and killed. My point is, from the time of diagnosis of a cataract to the time of surgery is typically 1 year. Had he received timely care, perhaps he might be alive today. Another one, a Vietnam veteran, a Marine combat veteran, had Agent Orange-related liver failure. He went to the emergency department at the VA hospital last December. He needed fluid drained from his abdomen. They could not do it because now they do not have an ICU. And if the procedure went wrong, they could not put him in intensive care. They tried to get him into Mercy Hospital. They were full. They tried to get him into Grants Pass. They could not. After 7 days wait, he finally underwent the procedure. He was put into the hospice unit. He eventually died. My point is, had the ICU been there, he may have at least had a few more days with his family. Another case that's very personal to me, a dear friend had a grandson who is an Iraqi war veteran. He was involved in an IED explosion. Only he and another soldier survived out of the vehicle. Upon return to home, the other soldier committed suicide. He lived in Grants Pass. He lived with that for a number of years, and then he hung himself last December. He leaves a wife, 3 children, 2 in diapers, 1 with leukemia because of the chemicals that he was exposed to. And my point is that we need a more positive PTSD program. Had he had treatment, he might be alive today. And while we concentrate on the recent returnees, we cannot forget those older veterans. Just a few weeks ago, I sat down by a veteran who shared with me that he was in Vietnam on a howitzer crew. And I apologize for the brutality of the words I'm about to say. But during his tour, his unit was overrun twice, and over half his crew was killed. Each time, he had to live with a new crew and the fear of that might occur again. His crew was responsible for at least 180 killed. Upon his return to the States, he took his uniform off, never put it on again. And he shared with me that since his return, a constant dream has been he is sitting in a football bleacher, and before him walk these 180 that he killed. And he says over the years, those men have decayed to the point now it's merely skeletons walking by him. So we need to pay attention to those older folks that have those PTSD problems, and we're not hacking it right now. Along with, there's a soldier's slogan, we do not leave a comrade behind. And quite frankly, my group feels that women veterans have in fact been left behind. They need treatment just as their brother veterans do, and that's not happening right now. The bottom line is we want our hospital returned to a Type 2 facility. During my career in the Navy, I was a nuclear weaponsman. I lived with the threat of nuclear war for all that period of 30 years that I served. The year of my retirement, 1991, December 8th, 1991, my birthday, it has been determined that that is the day that the Soviet Union ceased to exist. I could not have asked for a better birthday present. This year, I'm hoping that my birthday present is the ICU is open. And in closing, I would just like to say that Director Willis is not only an advocate for veterans, but he's also a champion of veterans. And I'm very honored to sit here with him and also with Councilman Cottrell. Thank you.
Okay, we're in work session. Chair Hunt?
Mr. Chair, I would move HJM 26 to the floor with a do-adopt recommendation.
Chair Hunt moves the HJM 26 as to the House floor with a do-adopt. HJM 26 passes, and